Minasan, konnichiwa. When many people think of Japan, they think of it as this really technologically advanced nation with robots and high-tech gadgets like running the country. But what most people fail to realize is that in fact, according to a survey conducted by the Japanese Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, 36% of all teenagers in Japan do not even know how to use computers. Like, in such an atmosphere where, again, the very upcoming generation responsible for running its economy don't even know how to use computers, do you really think that Japan is this really technologically advanced country that is the future? So in a sense, it is no surprise that such low-spec monstrosities of laptops that looks like it came all the way back from the 80s still sells at a price point of above $3,000 and is actually the #1 selling laptop in Japan. Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm a Waseda University Poli-Sci and Economics graduate.
And I'm Helen, and I majored in Japanese language in university.
And welcome to today's video.
それでは行きましょう。
If you go to the business districts in Tokyo, such as Shinagawa, you'll more than often see many Japanese salarymen using this chunky monstrosity of laptops and answering phone calls in cafes. Now, is it because these laptops are cheap and the salaryman wants to save money? No. These laptops once again cost atrocious amounts, with most of them costing above the price range of $3,000. That's even more than the newest released 10-core CPU MacBook Pros. Now then, is it because these laptops have such high specs that can legitimately justify these prices? No, as the specs on these laptops are nothing special, with your typical i5 or i7 processors and 32GB memory. So what kind of good stuff are Japanese people on for them to be paying $3,000 plus for this slow, chunky monstrosities? First, the laptop has all kinds of ports that you can possibly imagine, as in from the HDMI port, USB Type-C ports, the cable LAN ports, to the analog RGB ports. They also have the CD DVD discs that has been long gone in the modern laptops such as MacBooks. And why are having such outdated ports all packed into one laptop so important only in Japan? That is because Japan is a nation that suffers from a syndrome by the name of Galatago Syndrome, which refers to the largely isolated development in which Japan undergoes that is unique from the rest of the world. And that, of course, applies to the development in the realms of business practices as well. In Japan, where analog way of conducting business still remains supreme with all the fax machines and CDs and paperwork and individual stamping, all of that still firmly in place, having a DVD drive on your personal laptop may just give you that advantage, that edge in gaining a new business client who also only still uses that old DVDs and floppy disks. As Japanese government office, in fact, still only recently phased floppy disks out in 2021. Can you imagine that? And of course, like I mentioned previously, in a country such as Japan, where owning personal laptops and computers are just not a part of the predominant culture, the vast majority of laptop purchases are for business reasons. And this means that laptop purchases of an individual Japanese salaryman are subsidized by their own respective Japanese corporations in which they work for. And from the perspective of these Japanese corporations, where harmonious business conduct is of the utmost importance in this isolated nation, they simply can't have their employees purchase a non-Japanese laptop such as MacBooks, as that will definitely harm their reputation and image to much of the Japanese government policymakers, and of course as well as the fellow business partners. So in a sense, you can't really blame Japanese domestic electronic producers asking ridiculous fees for such monstrously designed 80s looking laptops for above $3,000. As guess what? Much of the Japanese salarymen who work for these Japanese corporations have no choice but to purchase them, based on all of the reasons in which I have provided earlier within this video. Today's episode of Aaron and Helen Explain Japan. If you like this video, please make sure to give the video a like and a subscribe, as well as follow us along in other platforms such as Twitter and Instagram as well. But most of all, please check out our book, where we get into a 47,000 word research journey into exploring many of the secrets of the Japanese collective psyche. We put in a lot of time into writing this book, so we strongly believe that a lot of you guys will more than enjoy the contents of the book once you read it. Thank you guys once again for your valuable support and helping us keep this channel alive. With that said,
皆さんどうもありがとうございました。
we'll see you guys again soon on the next episode. Cheers, guys.
バイバイ。